So good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining us today for this info session dedicated to the second open call from the Guardians project. Before we begin, let me briefly introduce you Guardians. Guardians is a Horizon Europe funded project focused on strengthening the resilience of rural areas and rural communities by developing innovative solutions that empower small and medium-sized farms. So in general, the project aims to help bridge the gap, the technological gap between smaller and larger food producers. Today, we will talk about our second open call in particular, which represents an opportunity for us to bring more farms on board and test our technology in a wider range of real-world conditions. And at the same time, it is an opportunity for farmers to have the chance to explore and test innovative technologies that could support their daily activities. In today's session, we will walk you through all the key information about the open call, so who can apply, how to submit the application, how the selection process will work, and what the selected participants can expect. We will also present our technology portfolio to let you know what are the technologies that you will test if selected. At the end of the presentation, we will have a Q&A session to answer all your questions and address any doubts you may have. So I think that's it. It is a pleasure now to hand over to Sonia Garcia and David Terreñas from our coordination team. So Sonia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Erika. Just for you to remember, we are recording this meeting. If this is okay with you. So please, Erika, you can proceed with it. So yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sonia Garcia. I'm the project manager for Guardians. And Erika, please, if you want to share, if you may share my presentation. We do not see it in the whole screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yes.
Put it in presentation mode. Okay,
yeah,
you
now,
should see it now.
Yes, now it's great. Thanks. Yeah, so I'm the project manager for our project that Erika has explained very well. So just to focus with our project focuses on farms, and especially small and medium farms. So our open calls are dedicated to farms and farmers. So that we are going to explain today. More opportunities for the farmers to interact with technology. So first, an overview from the two open calls that we have, because now we will explaining what we call the test before invest open call, which is the second open call that we have in this project. It has been launched last May, and you are open to put an application to it. Which is the goal? Its goal is to replicate and test Guardians technologies in new farms. But I want to do a brief introduction about the last open call that we have last year, which we call the co-creation open call.
Sonia, we lost you. You are freeze. But yeah, wait a couple of seconds. There were some problems, connection problems today in their office, so let's wait a couple of seconds. I think Sonia wanted to talk about the co-creation open call that was the one that we launched last year in May, and because it is strictly related to the second open call, so that's why she wanted to start by saying a few words on that. Through that open call, we selected 9 consortia composed of tech provider and the farm. And the goal of that open call was to co-design and develop new technological solutions that will be eligible also for the second open call. So that's why Sonia wanted to start with introducing you also some points about the first open call. At the end of the presentation, Emilio will present you all the solutions that are eligible for our Test Before Invest open call, so the one that is open now. For this second open call, you can choose all the technologies from Guardians and also the technologies from the first open call. So that's why it is important to say a few words also about the first open call. I see Emilio again.
Yeah, we have you into again.
Great.
Yes,
I was explaining the link between the first and the second open call, Sonia.
Thank you, Erika. Yeah, sorry if this happens again, because just today we have been a couple of hours before discovering some connection problems here in our office. So it's a pity that we have this problem, and let's hope that this is the only time that happens. I have stopped the video. We are now sharing only one connection just to minimize risk. So yeah, as Erika, I'm sure she was explaining, there is we need to explain that we had a previous open call because in this open call new technologies are being developed, and these technologies will be able to be part of this Test Before Invest open call. If you can go to the next slide, please, Erika. As you see in this picture, both calls are connected because the Test Before Invest open call runs in parallel with the final 3 months of the other open call. The co-creation open call is currently in phase 2 in the development. So the new technologies are being developed, and in the last phase, when it is expected that the Test Before Invest call executes, will be the last phase also for the co-creation open call. So in that moment, the technologies developed in the co-creation open call will be ready for you to test. So this is important to have this into account. So next, please. Now we are going to detail more the Test Before Invest open call. General aspects, which is the goal. We want new farms to be able to replicate and test Guardians technologies. And in Guardians, we have different kind of technologies, but you only have to choose one. We have a portfolio of technologies that come even either from the Guardians project, we have 9 different technologies, or from the co-creation open call, we have another set of 9 technologies. So in this Test Before Invest open call, we will fund up to 9 projects. So each project will have a funding up to 10,000 euro. So the total budget of this open call is 90,000 euro. Next, please. Who can apply? This is the very first question that everyone needs to know. This open call is for farmers, so for small and medium-sized farms. So we always have the same question: which is is my farm qualified as a small or medium? Well, we have discovered that there is no unique criteria to define when a small or medium-sized farm ends and when a large farm begins. So in the guide for applicants document, you will have an extensive explanation about this. But as a general guideline, we are focusing on these 2 figures: the number of hectares. We will define these farms are having less than 200 hectares, or 500,000 euros as a standard annual output. However, this will be assessed case by case in the eligibility phase. So don't be afraid to propose your farm, or if you have any doubts, just write to the help desk. Another eligibility conditions: you need to have a valid VAT number in the sub-grant agreement state. You should not be affiliated with a Guardians partner or affiliated entity. And then the general conditions for the European Commission, that you should not be under liquidation and difficulty or excluded for funding for any other aspects. You need to select one technology to test from the portfolio, and you should only do an application. If you do more than once, only the last submission counts. Next, please, Erika. As I told before, the funding goes up to 10,000 euros, and it's based on lump sum, as and it's usually in this kind of projects. So what do you need to do to test and evaluate digital solutions from the Guardians or from the co-creation open call? And we will test what you have to do in 3 milestones. The first one, if the technology has been set up, so we need to confirm the installation and the basic functionality. The second KPI is to submit some KPI form and operational data. And the last, to write some lessons learned, some qualitative feedback and suggestions that will help us to improve the technology. Next, please. So how to apply? If you go to the Guardians webpage, you have specific section for the open calls, and you have a big button. They apply here, so just click, and then an online form will appear, and you just have to fill in the questions. Next, please. important that the proposal must be complete and in English, and you need to include all the required annexes, which are 3. And all this information is in the guide for applicants. We put you here some key dates. These are more or less indicative, except the final submission day, which is the 1st of July at 5 p.m. Because this will not change. However, the rest of the dates may have a small delays. We will not want this, but it can happen. So you still have more than 3 weeks to prepare your proposal. So do not wait until the final day. But please, I think there is enough time. It's not very long. After this process ends, we will do an eligibility check. Then the external evaluation will start. After this, there will be a consensus meeting with the technology providers, and then the results will be finally communicated at the end of August. Next, please, Erika. Sorry. Then you can see here the main sections that you need to fill in the application form. First of all, you need to put some farm data. Then you will have to choose the technology. You will have all listed, and you will just choose. Then you will have to explain in test some of the parameters that will be evaluated. I will talk about this later, but these are the usability potential, the expected impact and applicability, the capacity, and then we have some specific questions for the extra points. Then you will have to fill in the budget with uploading. This will be done uploading an Excel file, and then you will have to declare some ethics parameters and a declaration of honor. So next, please. I'm going to share with you the evaluation procedure. First, the eligibility check. We need a complete proposal in English within the deadline, specifying the farm type that is aligned with the guardians, that you select a technology and all annexes have been uploaded and are correct. Then, if all these aspects are okay, we go to the external evaluation. So we will have 2 evaluators per proposal, in which they will evaluate what I'm going to explain later, and they will produce a score. With the whole scores of all proposals, we will do a ranking list, and then the technology providers will meet in a selection committee just to check this list and to confirm the winners, the proposed winners. Finally, the selected proposals will go to a formal check and software agreement preparation. And then you will hopefully start the execution of your project. Next, please. So how proposals are scored? As I told, we will have 2 independent external evaluators that will evaluate 3 different criteria. First of all, the usability potential. What we're trying to see here if the selected technology can be used and tested on this farm. Then the expected impact and applicability, we want to see if the farm will benefit from this and how the impact will be measured. Then we have the capacity to see if the farm has the resources to implement and complete the pilot. So this is what you will need to explain in text in the form. So you need to be to do clear explanations and always take into account that you have a limited space and that the evaluator needs to see the how you are trying to replicate this technology in your own farm. So next, please. Of course, these aspects are different from each technology because we have very different technologies. So what we are trying to search for in its criteria is better explained in the technology FAT6 document that you have also available in the OpenCall site. And in this technology FAT6, you will have a detailed description for each criterion, and each criterion includes a set of essential and added values. So the essential values are mandatory requirements that must be fulfilled in order to ensure the feasibility of applying and testing the selected technology of the farm. So it's important because they are mandatory. Then the added values refer to additional elements that may enhance the suitability of the farm for the implementation, validation of assessment of the technology. So it's important that you read very carefully what is included in each criterion for essential and for added values, because next screen, next please. This will be, of course, evaluated, and the score scale is based on how do you meet the essentials and the added values. So its criteria goes from 0 points to 5 points. You get 0 points if you do not meet any of the essential points. You get 1 or 2 if you do not justify all the essentials, but you get 3, which is good, if you meet all the essentials, but you do not explain, or you do not address, or you do not refer to any added values. Then you need, sorry, you need to be to tackle and to explain very well the added values if you wish to have a 4 or a 5, because to get these marks you will get to explain all the essentials and all the added values. If the evaluator considers that these added values are fully addressed, it will give you a 5, and it is not so clear, it may give you a 4. So with that, we will have the score per criterion that goes from 0 to 5. So we will have a usability potential, expected impact, and capacity from 0 to 5. We have defined some thresholds. Specifically, you need to be at least to have at least more than 3 points in each criterion. This is logical because we have just explained that a 3 is what you get if you meet all the essentials, and the essentials are the required, the mandatory requirements. So you need a 3. It needs one of them. But you need also to have more than 10 points overall. So a 3 will not be enough in its criteria. You need to be at least, one should be at least a 4. So the sum of the usability potential, the expected impact, and the applicability and the capacity should, the sum, sorry, should be more than 10 points. Next, please. We also define in the guide for applicants the possibility to get extra points. So what do you need to do to get extra points? If you select a technology from the co-creation open call, you will be 3 extra points, because this is a way to even improve the first open call. Then if you are a use case form from Guardians that you already collaborated in Guardians, you get 2 extra points. But if you have collaborated in Guardians, you need to be to select now a different technology, because in Guardians the use cases farms, each one of them has tested a specific technology in a specific use case, and now they will not be able to do that. Of course, they need to participate, if they wish, with a different use case. And it's important to note that these farms are not project partners, so they are eligible for that. The final score will be the average of the evaluators' scores, so a maximum of 15. Then we will add the extra points if they have. So the maximum score will be 20 points. With this, a ranking list will be created. Next, please. So when do you have all this information in the open call site? You have here the link. In this link, all the documents, the important documents are listed. We have the guide for applicants, which is what you need to understand to do an application, the frequently asked questions with a set of specific questions, then the annexes that you need to upload to the form, to fill and to upload. And if you have questions, you can address them to our help desk via email in that mail. So next, please. Just some final tips. The first thing is for you to read the guidelines carefully and to align with our goals. In your answers, you should be clear and concise. Of course, you need to select a technology that aligns with your final activities. But beware that this is only, you will have only 3 months to do the activities in this open call. So think what technology adapts to your farm abilities, and you will be able to do that in 3 months. You should fill the annexes correctly and upload it to the specific places in the form, and of course submit on time before the 1st of July at 5 p.m. And for my part, it is all. Now my colleague Emilio will explain to you a bit more in detail some aspects about the technology fact sheets that you will see is a very big document, because we have a lot of information there, but it will be only tackling a specific technology, you do not need to read it to read the whole document. So, Emilio?
Thank you, Sonia. As Sonia explained, basically in the technology fact sheet, you have everything you need to know to see which technology are you proposing to replicate, and of course the evaluation criteria that you need to take into account when making the proposal. So that's why we thought that in this webinar we should present the technologies with the technology fact sheets. Just a reminder, as Sonia said, 3 points are given to technologies selected that were in the open call. I will start with the Guardians technologies, but of course, if you want to maximize the opportunities and the punctuation, it would be better for you if you select one of the open call technologies. Just wanted to give you that information clear, because of course it is very important for you when planning which technology are you selecting. So in this technology fact sheets, you will have a technology description and both the criteria, the essentials, and the added values. I will start with Satimun 1. First of all, you see here you have a technology description. You have also the key features of the technology, the benefits, and the accessibility, meaning what is needed from the farmer to replicate the technology. And then you have the evaluation criteria listed here, and this is replicated for all of the technologies. So I will do a rapid heads up on every technology, and if you have any doubts at the end, please let us know. So Satibum is a CAP support tool for the crop management. It is basically developed by a research institute in Castilla y León, and now it's a public tool in the sense that the government is paying for the tool to be available to the farmers and to be integrated with the CAP regulatory applications. Basically, the requirements of these technologies is that you have a suitable crop for them to use. They are listed here. Also, basic digital skills and the number of crops that you are providing. If you have more crops, it's better for them to test the technology. Also, the added values in the sense of impact, it's important for them to show current practice comparison between the support, the normal support system and the supported system decisions. Also, digital access is very important for them, obviously, to gather the functioning of the digital tool, and also as an added values, if you have systems in the farm that can be controlled automatically, it's better for them because they can integrate the decision support system into the loop. Then Odos Tech, Odos is a technology that is basically a software as a service platform. It basically includes a service that can calculate scope 1, 2, and 3 of carbon footprint in the farm, but also biodiversity indicators. This is a very good technology for farms that want to validate their technology, their environmental potential. Here you have the different criteria. The basic functioning of the tool is that you as a farm have to give the production data to the software developers so they can calculate the footprint of the farm. As such, it is very important that you have this production data to be given to the developers. Also, that the relevant use cases, in the sense that this technology is not meant for large-scale operations where no environmental benefit is shown. It's more for farms that have a clear environmental view on their farm. GrassGuard is a technology developed in the Czech Republic. It's composed of a flying drone that makes use of georeference images and to calculate with AI where are the bad spots that another land drone should be cutting down. And as such, this is a heavy hardware technology that it could be better, and it's included as a here as an added value. It would be better if this would be on Czech Republic, obviously because the land drone is very expensive to move on, and they are looking also for partners who are willing to co-finance the drone once the pilot is ended. Let's say that you have to have an interest in continuing with the pilot because they have limited drones and as they are a university. Cerere is a smart farming tool that helps to make better decisions in the field, and this is developed by Links Foundation in Italy, and it supports several decision support systems based on AI monitoring. For example, here they have the basic modules that they work with. Basically, the irrigation module, when to irrigate the crops, also how to get ahead of the crop diseases and see full picture of your fields through satellite imagery and drone imagery. In terms of different criteria, I would highlight that you need to be working with a supported crop type for them. You can find here the list and a suitable cultivation setup. Let's say that you can get images from satellites, or that you have different soil moisture sensors for the irrigation module to work well. Also, you have some disease that with some crop with diseases, with normal diseases, they will be more willing to replicate, because of course you can get the full value for the technology. SwarmSense is a technology that focus on beekeeping. So if you have beehives, you can apply for this technology. If not, there is no sense to apply for it. It's basically sensors with IoT that can monitor how the bees are behaving, and give you direct feedback on a web application directly for you, not only because you can have temperature or humidity levels, but also through sound and through a microphone and through AI, they can say to you when there is some unusual activity on the beehive, or when the cycles of the bees are happening in real time. Next one, we have the wildlife care. This is from a company called Flux. This is a technology very specific for wildlife management. In the case of farming, this is applied to farms that have problems with wildlife living next to them, and they have to somehow keep them out of their farms, either crops or either co-living with some cattle. They do this with bioacoustic deterrence and with AI systems that detect the wildlife approaching the farms, and then they get out they put some sounds, some AI generated sounds to deter the wildlife to get close to the farm. Then we have EcoWard. This technology is developed by CTIC ourselves, and EcoWard is a web application focused on GHG emissions and management. In difference with others, for example, we are not tackling the whole spectrum of different emissions, but rather we are more focused on the emissions by the animals themselves. In this case, we have a sniffer technology, which is measuring continuously the respiration from the animals and calculating how much CO2 and CH4 they are emitting. This is very important to quantify enteric emissions due to the digestive system of the animal, which makes up to 90% of the emissions from the animal themselves. So this is very a research-focused technology which aims to bring this to the farms and especially to some cooperatives interested in how they are faring in terms of emissions with their animals. We have put here as an added value in the capacity, I think. Yes, to be located in northern Spain because we have this sniffer technology that we have to put into the farm and install ourselves. So probably do some more visits during the execution. So that's why we put this as an added value to preferably have farms that are on a one day drive from our offices. Technology number 8 is the biodiversity assessment service, which is developed by IVL, which is a Swedish company. Basically, what they are doing is gathering samples of grasslands, and from this they can have an analysis on eDNA. This is basically traces of DNA left by the local wildlife or fauna or flora of the place. And what they do is an assessment of how well are you doing in terms of environmental variety in the farm. They take this they have migrated their focus, and they now work with samples of cow dung because this is the place where they can gather faster more eDNA. And they are working in Sweden, so they would prefer to work there because they would have similar ecosystems. Let's say that they can compare and have good results. And lastly, for the Guardian's own technologies, we have ChainSpector, also developed by CTIC. ChainSpector is a blockchain-enabled traceability platform, so you can have a digital product passport of the products of the farm. It is basically a way to have your products with more value to the eyes of the consumer, as they can have a QR code directly on the product, scan, and have the technology show you the full history of the product. So we are passing on to the open call technologies. As I said at the beginning of my presentation, if you choose one of these, they will give you another extra 3 points. So Fair4Olive is a cost-effective fertilization advisory system that is designed for basically olives. So you are very encouraged to choose this if you have an olive crops. They use a program of their own called Prama Agronomy, and this is more focused into, as I said, advisory system over the management information system. So the management information system is Prama Agronomy, but here in the project, they are working on how to give through AI different decision support systems. As you can see, they have a lot of information, so you can have a look into it. I only have a minute per technology, to give in time this webinar, but have a look at it if you have doubts about it. Second technology is Broco-Risk. They are also based in Greece, and they are basically working with broccoli and similar crops. They integrate images from drones, and they use it to give a decision support system to when to say to the farmers when it's the optimal harvest timing from broccoli. And they also have integration of different market APIs to see the price in real time, so they can not only give you recommendations about when is the best time based on the physiological data that they have and they gather, but also on when it is economically optimal, which is a very good integration, in my opinion, for the farmers. As you can see, the target crops would be basically the broccoli and cauliflower, for example, because they have their system very attached to these types of farms. They also are looking for a farm in Greece to ensure alignment with the economic decision support module, which is calibrated using Greek wholesale prices. Then we have VineCare, which is obviously targeted at vineyard monitoring systems, and they use drone-based multispectral monitoring. They gather high-resolution images of the crops to gather the most information as possible without being in the field, and they have an AI-driven algorithm to detect potential diseases and see if there is some dry or heat strokes, so they can be sure that they don't affect the vineyards themselves. They have shown very good results. Basically, having information about these diseases before you can even tell it on eyesight on the fields. This not only improves the disease monitoring, but also improves that you don't have to be on the field every day to search for any diseases. They have also a requirement here to be on a Greek farm because they are doing multispectral flights, which are very expensive to do, and they would provide it if you are a Greek farm because they have an agreement with a drone operator. FarmLink is a technology developed by Agrodata. This is a company based in Spain which have a farming management system as their big software as a service platform, but they are designing inside of the Guardians project a platform that is not only targeted to gather information about the farm, but also information about the different IoT devices. They use for this a LoRaWAN gateway infrastructure, which provides reliable coverage in places where there are no phone coverage, and they try this connectivity platform with wearable safety devices for workers. That is, devices that allow workers to tell you if there is something wrong going on about a heat stroke or whatever happens in the fields, so they can have a quick way to let you know if there is something going on. And also this works in autonomous way to let you know without them telling you. One of the basic requirements for this is that if they have some connectivity needs. So if they have a connectivity need, it's highly advisable. It's preferable for them because they can try how this works without connectivity with their own LoRa connectivity. AgriWing is an AI-powered decision support system in olive orchards. They work in Slovenia, and they have a software as a service solution combined with these dedicated field sensors that captures 3 levels of environmental conditions. So basically they gather both data from multispectral imagery from the drones and also a sensor data inside of in the field. They don't have very weird requirements, just that you have access to in some way have some way of applying their technology in terms of sensors and in terms of the drones themselves. Digibio is a very peculiar application that it's meant to give digital intelligence to the biodiversity and ecosystem optimization. So this technology is basically focused on having real-time data on biodiversity and ecosystem optimization, so that farmers that are interested in regenerative agriculture can take decisions not only based on financial improvement of the farm, but also on how the local wildlife it's going through their farm. In this case, it is very fit into into bees and pollinators inside of on the farm, and they integrate this pollination service modeling, which combines the habitat suitability, the climatic condition, and crop-specific dependencies to stimulate the pollinator occurrence. This is very important because, as you know, there is a great crisis with pollinators in the farms and how they interact with our crops. So it is a very interesting technology, which would prefer to, as you can see in the requirements, to work with different with farms that are from the Mediterranean, if possible, because they have studied the context and also some emerging pressures in terms of pests affecting to the crops. Safe Birds is like the Flux technology with wildlife management, but it's focused only in birds. This is very important. In this case, they apply it in a pilot in Guardians for free-range poultry farms because they cannot interact with wildlife because they take their food, but most importantly, they put some illnesses into the poultry. And this not only affects poultry, but it also affects some cattle because they can signal false positives in terms of illnesses because due to the cohabitation with these kind of birds. The way that it works, it's with 4G cameras, and that records in real time. They detect it with AI when the flock of birds is approaching, and they give sounds to deter them to entering the farm. And we are coming to Libet, which is developed by a Spanish company. It's a modular decision support system, and it's designed for extensive cattle farming. As you know, there are a lot of collars and different types of devices given to cattle farming, and they want to centralize all of this information coming from the IoT and put it into a platform. That way, they can provide a one-stop shop platform for the farmer, so they can monitor all the occurrences to the farms. Here, the requirements would suggest to have some collars already from a brand that it's compatible with the platform, so they can start gathering data as soon as the pilot starts. And I think this is the last one, Infuse. Infuse is a plant stem infuser system. They basically do the typical infusion stem systems, but in this case automatically. So the idea is that they have hardware prepared to be to deliver this infusion into the plant vascular systems on demand based on real-time data. This makes the system largely crop agnostic as it is reflected in the different requirements, and they have published a lot of research about this novel system and how they can increase the yields and the health of the plant, and they are coming with Guardians into a phase more of piloting. So they would be willing to allocate different crops. However, they are asking in one of the requirements to be in a country at least adjacent to Slovenia, so they can travel and install the hardware there, because obviously it's not enough with a visit. They would need several visits, so as close as you are from them, the better service that you will have. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much for all of the technology presentation, for listening for all of the technology presentations.